There are other alleged revelations that were added. How about when Muhammad, he accidentally saw a scantily clad Zainab, the wife of his adopted son Zaid, and fell madly in love with her. Another timely revelation came along that was added to the Quran, Surah 33, 35 through 38, that Zaid should divorce Zainab so Muhammad could marry her. The revelation ended thus, quote, "The commandment of Allah must be fulfilled."
Now, Dave just spoke to us about an incident which is reported about the Prophet Muhammad, on whom be peace, that he saw the wife of his adopted son, and he became attracted to her. That is not in the Quran. So a Muslim may take that story or leave it. Many Muslims think that is a fictitious story. Muslims themselves came up with stories to romanticize the life of the Prophet Muhammad, on whom be peace, in part to justify their own lechery sometimes. But the story itself, as Dave recounted it, shows that the Prophet Muhammad did not do anything with that lady until her husband himself divorced her. The usual waiting period was over, so all of the formalities were done, and then the Prophet Muhammad married her, took her as his wife. So everything was up and all decent. In the Bible, on the other hand, we read about David, and of course he's a man close to God. It says that he was a man after God's own heart. David saw the wife of Uriah, Bathsheba, as she herself was taking a bath. Isn't that curious? Bathsheba taking a bath. Anyway, and he became attracted to her, and he sent for her. And he, being the king, of course, she could not refuse. She went to his palace, and she conceived. Now, what was to be done? Because eventually Uriah will come back and find out that his wife got pregnant while he was out in battle. So David sent for Uriah to be brought back in. And David said, okay, go home, take a break and so on, hoping that this man will go home and have intercourse with his wife. And so when he discovers that his wife is pregnant, he will think, that was when I came back home for a vacation. But this man, being faithful to the king and faithful to the country, said, I'm not going to go home. I cannot go home while my comrades are out in the battlefield. I must go back and fight there. So the man went back. But David sent a letter with him, sealed, instructing the general to place this man in the front lines and to all fall back from him so that the enemy will kill him. And this was done. So we have two different images of David. One in the Quran, one in the Bible. In the Quran, he is a peaceful person, singing tunes. In the Bible, he's quite violent. We can see that there are two different books here, and I wish I didn't have to bring this up, but Dave has in a way cornered me into this. Having read his books and thought about what might be appropriate as a response, it seemed to me that this is the way it had to go.
Now, David was rebuked by Nathan the prophet for what he did, and some of the things that he cited, God rebuked him for that.
Now, Dave just said that Jephthah was not approved by God, and neither was David, because David was rebuked by Nathan. And he's correct about David, at least in the incident with Bathsheba. Yes, David was rebuked for that, and the child was killed, which seems weird, because to kill the child means you're punishing Bathsheba twice. First, she lost her husband in the battle. To begin with, she was in fact taken advantage of by the king. Second, her husband is made to die. And third, her son, which is flesh of her own flesh, now is killed as a punishment to David. But nobody bothers about, what about the woman? How does she feel about all of this?